welcome back to December Daily Draw Day 4. Miss Jessica here to show you how to draw a gingerbread man. We're going to be extra creative today and you guys get to decorate your gingerbread man any way you want. Now for materials, I'm going to be using some oil pastels and some watercolors. And like always, you're going to need a pencil, you're going to need a Sharpie, eraser, and your paper. So let's go ahead and get started with our drawing. So grab the paper you'd like to use today and your pencil. And like always, I'll use a Sharpie, but you use your pencil. Let's grab my paper and please make sure to write the number 4 somewhere at the top, any way you want. Now, we definitely need to draw our gingerbread man first, and like I said before, you can decorate it however you want. I'll show you what I did, but again, have fun and be super creative. So let's start with our head. We're going to go right about the middle of our paper, and we're going to draw a big curvy rainbow line, almost like a circle, but notice I didn't connect the bottom. So go ahead and add that for your head. Now, whatever size that is, that's how big your gingerbread will be. So I recommend really large so we can add more details. Now for our arms, they're going to be the same on both sides. So I'm going to start right at the bottom of the head, and we're going to draw a big sideways rainbow up and down and stop. Notice how I stopped right about the same place as the head. Same thing on the other side. Start where the head is, curve that up like a big slanted rainbow, and down and stop. Great job. Now, like always, please pause if you need to take some time or work on something else because I want to make sure that you guys make this gingerbread the best it can be. So try your best to make them even, but also just have some fun. Now for our legs, they're going to be like long U's. Let's watch close. I'm going to start at the end of the arm, draw some lines going down for the body on the left and the right. Then I'm going to draw my big U's down and up and stop in the middle. One more time on the right, down and up and stop in the middle. Now I like to make my gingerbreads really big because that's a little bit more cookie to eat. So if yours is a little skinnier, that's fine. But I do recommend trying to make those arms and legs kind of large. Now I'm going to show you some classic gingerbread things that we're going to add so we know it's a gingerbread and not just a person. So I want you guys to add these with me. On the arms, I want you guys to go close to the end and we're going to draw wavy lines up and down from one side to the other. So go ahead up towards the arm there. And when you're done underneath, draw one more nice and close, and that's going to be like the frosting. And this is a classic way to decorate a gingerbread man. So if we do this all together, and then later you can add your details to kind of figure out what kind of gingerbread person it is. So let's add one more on the other side, some wavy lines across top to bottom, and one more underneath. Now we'll also add that next to the feet down there. So when you're done, jump to the feet, wavy lines up and down, next to each other, kind of on top. One more on the other side. Great job. Now at this point, we got a pretty cool looking gingerbread man. And I want you to decorate it how you want. You can add a face, you can do hair, maybe you want to draw a shirt or shorts, maybe some sort of bathing suit because I'm going to make a super cool beach looking gingerbread man today. I live next to the ocean, so I always think about the beach during summertime, and sometimes it's fun to kind of add a little bit twist of that to our holiday baking here. So what I'm going to add is in the middle where his waist would be, I'm going to do some more wavy lines across the waist to look like maybe the top of his shorts. So maybe you want to add that too as well. If you want to make a t-shirt, add one more right here next to, right underneath that head there where his chin would be. Now I'm going to decorate my shorts. I'm just going to put polka dots. You guys could do stripes. Maybe, again, you don't want to add any shorts. Maybe they're pants. Maybe you're going to try to do a skirt. That's fine. Remember, you're using pencils, so if you need to erase, please do so. And I'm going to jump to my face. Now, he's wearing board shorts, so I'm not worried about a t-shirt. He's just got his cool little frosting on his arms there. But I'm going to add some sunglasses. So where his eyes would be, I'm going to put glasses, but again, you guys can just do maybe 2 circles for his eyes, give him a smile. Gingerbread usually don't have noses. So for my glasses, I'm going to draw a straight line across and then two big U's underneath. And then just kind of let them connect in the middle. Then if you want, you can even add some diagonal lines going to the side of his head to look like they're being held on tight so they don't go anywhere. And definitely going to need a smile. So a classic gingerbread smile is one that's filled in with frosting, not just a straight line or a curved line. Now I'm done with my gingerbread man, but you might not be. So please pause your video, draw your details on your gingerbread man, and press play when you're done. Now my gingerbread man today is going to be on a baking tray. So I'm going to show you, I painted it gray, so we're going to add the edges. If you don't want to do this today, you don't have to. Maybe you want to just put them on a piece of paper and color it how you want. So if you'd like to join me, you can. Otherwise, we'll just jump into coloring here in just a little bit. I'm going to start underneath my letter, or my number, excuse me, and I'm going to draw a straight line down and stop right before I get to the bottom, and one more next to it for the edge of my baking tray. Then I'm going to make it look like a big backwards L. So I'm going to have it come down underneath, and one more time for the bottom. And I'm just going to let it stop. You could go all the way to the edge if you want, up to you. And that, my friends, is the end of our drawing portion for today. So awesome job. Go ahead and finish that up. But when you are done drawing, trace everything. So grab that Sharpie, trace all your lines. I know you might have some more than I do, so please pause that video, press play when you're ready. Now for me, I have sunglasses. So the first thing I'm going to do is using my Sharpie, I'm going to color in my sunglasses. I'd probably use black frosting, but if you want, you could just color it something different, or maybe you have eyes. You could still color them in black, like a sprinkle, or use a color. That's going to be up to you. But we're going to be using our oil pastels first. So if you have glasses, you can color them in like me. If not, grab out those oil pastels. Put those next to you. Now I have quite a few, but if you only have a couple, like the small box, you're just going to follow along just the same. Now let's start with our gingerbread man himself. We're going to use some brown. I find that this reddish brown looks really good, or a light brown, but use whatever you have. Notice how I took the paper off and I broke it in half. I want you guys to go ahead and do that too. Take your paper off, break it in half, and just hold up one side. Now if you've used chalk pastels before, we're going to do something very, very similar, where we lay it down flat, we pinch, and we're going to pull and add these bumpy lines. What this does is it gives it texture. So it looks a little bit more like a cookie. So we're going to go around the whole body of our gingerbread man, trying very hard not to go on the smile or the little arm frosting. So take your time, go nice and slow. If there's a small spot that you can't quite get to with your oil pastel sideways, you can hold it like a pencil and just press light and kind of scribble on some color. But we will be painting on top, so whatever you missed, don't worry, we'll get it in just a little bit. Now I have shorts, so I'm going to skip it and I'm going to add some to the feet. But remember, if you did a t-shirt or dress, only put this where you see the skin or the cookie of your gingerbread man or person. So go ahead and finish that up. I did my head, my arms, my little feet, but again, you might have a little less or more. All right, now for our decorations, you guys can really use any colors you want, but I want to remind you of our color scheme. Our red, our green, our blue, and a little black and white. But have fun and use whatever colors you want. I'm going to do red for my arm frosting today. You could also just leave it white if you wanted to. Oftentimes gingerbread are just decorated with white frosting, but I'm going to have fun with my color today. So let's go ahead and fill those in. Notice I'm holding it like a pencil and I'm pressing hard and I'm filling in all my white spots. I'm even going to do my mouth and the parts down here on the shorts. Now I definitely want my shorts to be a different color. But I'm just going to keep coloring that in. There we go. Oh, and I can't forget the waist. But again, if you have different outfit on, just be coloring it how you want. Now, any large spaces like the shorts or a t-shirt or a dress, I want you to color in the small details. So for me, it would be the polka dots. But if you have something large, we're going to paint it. So don't worry about coloring the whole shorts in with your oil pastels or your t-shirt. Just take some colors of your oil pastels and fill in the small things. So all my little circles here, I'll fill those in just like so. I can use different colors. I'm going to use lots of different greens here for all my polka dots, but the rest I'll leave and I'll paint right over the top. All right, please go ahead and finish up your small details with your oil pastels. Great job, guys. I know you guys probably have a little more than me or a little different. Next, I will show us something for our baking sheet. So pause your video, take your time coloring, and when you're ready, press play. Now, we're going to be painting that with a gray, and if you didn't do it, don't worry. But I want you guys to grab a white oil pastel. We're going to add highlights. Now, highlights are hard to see with white. They only show up if you paint. So notice how I have some curved lines on the side and down below, metal shiny. Also, I have some right here along the edge. So I want you guys to try your best to follow along. Grab your white, and I want you to put it where you see my lines. Now I'm going to use a gray so it's easier to see, but you need to use a white. All right, so we're going to start up in the top above our gingerbread man, and I want you to draw 2 curved lines. Now, using white, you won't really see it, but when you paint over it, you will. So again, use your white. Then we're going to do the same thing at the bottom. 2 more kind of curves or lines there. And then along the big backwards L, you're just going to draw 1 line on each part. And that's going to be the end of our oil pastel step. So please go ahead and finish that up. Again, if you don't have a baking sheet, don't worry about it. Maybe decorate the background however you'd like, or paint it in just a second. But we are going to go ahead and shift on over to painting. So pause if you need to finish up. But if you are ready, grab your paints. You need water, brushes, and maybe a paper towel just in case you spill a little bit. But we're going to begin with our gingerbread man. So grab a medium-sized brush or whatever you have, dip it in your water, wipe, and I want you to find brown. We're going to get some brown, and we're just going to paint right over the oil pastel. Now what's awesome is that oil pastel and watercolors don't mix together. It just fills in all the little white spots that got left behind. Also, it won't go on top of any details. So just keep spreading all the puddles around so they don't dry. Remember, if you painted a shirt, or a t-shirt or pants, don't color it brown. You're just going to do it anywhere you see the gingerbread man's body. You can paint over the eyes, over the mouth. Anywhere you see brown, it will just fill in those white spots. Again, if you see puddles, spread them around somewhere dark, or take a towel and lightly tap the paper and it'll take some of that off. My last thing for brown is my feet, but keep painting if you have a little more. But if you're all done, clean that brush. Great job, you guys. That's going to be it for the body of our gingerbread man with brown. And next we'll move into any other details. So I'm going to clean my brush. And now I need to paint my shorts. But maybe you have a shirt, dress, hat, shoes, whatever that is. Go ahead and use that color, dip, wipe, and I'm going to do some green. 1, 2, 3 there. And we're just going to paint. Again, you can go over your small details. And I'm going to fill in my shorts with my green color. Use any color you want. Go ahead and finish that up. And I want you to paint all your little larger spots you have left. So again, you might have a t-shirt of some sort or your dress. Just paint all of that in. But I'm going to be done because that's all I have left to do. Something a little extra for those who maybe would like to add some more are some shadows. So once your paint kind of dries, you can do this with your watercolors. My paint's kind of wet, so it might not work right away. But if you get more brown than your water, you can go along the edges and just kind of paint a little bit of a shadow right along the sides. Now, again, you do not have to do this. This is going to be a little more advanced, but I do want to show you guys, so if you would like to try, you can. If you feel like it's too dark, just grab only water and just kind of blend it out a little bit. But again, this is a little bit advanced, but I'd like to show you so you guys can kind of get an idea of shading, especially on an object like a cookie, because you would have some. Do some on the head as well. You can also do this with oil pastels if it's not quite working. And maybe even with those pants there, we might need a little bit of shading. Great job, guys. We will now move on to our last step, which is our baking sheet. Now, if you did not do this, you can just paint the whole background whatever color you want. But I'm going to show you guys how to mix some color. So I have the lid of my painting palette. Notice I already have some black in there. So we're going to make some gray today. I'm going to use my larger brush, get some water in there, and I'm going to transfer my water to my tray here. And I'm going to use it on a new one. And I'm going to grab some black, and I'm going to put it in there. Now, you're going to notice it does turn pretty dark. So the more water, the lighter that will be, like a gray. And we're going to take that new gray, and you're going to paint the whole background. And once you go over those highlights you made with the white, they'll start to show up. So just go ahead and keep painting. Now, if you don't have anywhere to mix, like you don't have the lid to your watercolors, what you can do is just get a lot of water on your brush and dip it one time in your black. So you're just going to get water, dip it once, and just spread it around. It might look really dark to start, but once you start spreading it, you can even get some more water. Just be careful because if you flood your paper, it will rip. So just be extra careful when doing so, or color it a different color. Maybe your baking tray is blue or green. It can be any color you want. So again, just keep on painting. Now for me, it just kind of ends. I don't have a top to my baking sheet. If you want, you can draw a top to yours. Or what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my brush and just go side to side and let the color just kind of fade into the white. So just keep painting until all the white spots are filled. If it's too light, you can always get a little more gray, a little more black, and just do another layer over it. If you notice your paper is starting to shred a little, that means there's too much water. So stop, let it dry, and you can always add more later. But that, you guys, is the end of our project today. So awesome job. Please finish up painting anything you didn't get to finish today. Clean your brushes and dump that water. To clean your tray, you just need a wet paper towel of some sort, and you can just wipe out the color on the inside, or take it to the sink and kind of run it under the water so the color comes out. All right, now this needs to dry, so let it sit for maybe a couple minutes or so until you feel like it's kind of dry. But that's the end of our daily draw for day 4. Awesome job, you guys. My name is Miss Jessica, and I hope to see you guys again very soon. Bye!